Every weekend, my wife disappeared. It was the sound of silence that woke me. The house was never quiet at that hour. She always left something running. The faint hum of the bathroom fan. The television set on low, playing some meaningless background noise. Her presence had a way of filling a room, even when she wasn't in it. But that night, there was nothing. Just an empty space where her warmth should have been. I checked the clock. 12:43 a.m. Too late for a casual errand. Too late for me time, as she called it. Her car was gone. I sat in the dark living room, staring at the front door, as if it might open and she'd walk in with some innocent excuse. I couldn't sleep. I needed fresh air. I went for coffee. But no headlights touched the driveway. The silence thickened. My chest tightened. I thought about all the weekends she'd disappeared for hours, sometimes for the entire night. I thought about how easily I'd believed her rehearsed tone, her tired smile, her soft hand pressing mine as she said the words. Just a little space. Every marriage needs it. I had agreed. I had trusted. But at 12:43 a.m., staring into the black glass of the window, I knew trust was just another word for blindness. And I wasn't blind anymore. The next morning, she came home at 7:02 a.m., sharp, like she'd timed it. Her hair was damp, as if she'd showered somewhere else. Her perfume clung too heavily to her skin, masking something underneath. She kissed me on the cheek like a nurse greeting a patient she didn't care for, quick, distant. I asked nothing, because silence gives more than questions ever could. Her eyes avoided mine as she moved around the kitchen. She reached for the coffee cups with a mechanical rhythm, like someone rehearsing normalcy. Late night, I asked finally, my voice steady. She didn't look at me. I told you, love, I just needed time for myself. Cleared my head. She said it so casually, as if truth could be wrapped neatly in vagueness. I nodded. I smiled. I let her believe me. Inside, I was taking inventory. Every lie, every deflection. Every weekend she had walked out of our life and into another one I wasn't invited to. The denial tried to anchor me. Maybe she really was exhausted. Maybe she truly just needed space. But denial is fragile. It cracks beneath the smallest weight. And when she left again the following weekend, wearing clothes she never wore for me, with her phone clutched too tightly in her hand, that fragile denial shattered into dust. I didn't follow her at first. Instead, I studied her absence. I checked the odometer. She had driven exactly 46 miles, always returning with nearly the same number erased from the fuel gauge. Her phone was password locked, something she had never done before. But I noticed she left it charging face down, as though hiding the glow of notifications. I became precise, clinical. I requested copies of our shared credit card statements. There were charges she never explained, small restaurants out of town, boutique hotels, payments she claimed were for workshops. She didn't work weekends. By day, I was the CEO of a tech law firm, a man who built empires out of contracts and buried rivals in legal traps they never saw coming. My whole career was strategy, patience, and precision. I knew how to dismantle someone without raising my voice. So I turned that skill toward her. I hired no detectives, no outsiders. Outsiders leave trails. I traced her trail myself. Her office calendar was blank on weekends, yet her browser history was full of maps, locations. I memorized them, plotted them, and when she left the house the next Saturday, I waited 15 minutes, then followed. The GPS told the rest of the story. She wasn't going to a spa, or a park, or a friend's home. She was driving into the city, parking 3 blocks away from a high-rise apartment, and she wasn't alone. I didn't confront her. I didn't storm the building. I watched from my car as she entered the lobby, met by a man I recognized instantly, one of our firm's junior partners. Her affair wasn't just betrayal, it was business. She was sleeping with someone whose career I controlled, someone who thought ambition and lust were stronger than loyalty. They didn't know they were already standing in a trap. I waited, I documented, I prepared. Every weekend became another thread I pulled, unraveling the tapestry of lies she'd woven around me. And I smiled when she kissed me goodbye on Sunday nights, whispering, "Thank you for understanding." She had no idea what I understood. The truth came in the form of paper, signed hotel receipts, photos, security footage, emails I retrieved from the firm's servers. Every detail aligned like pieces of a legal case, enough to crush her in court, enough to destroy him professionally. I didn't need drama, I needed precision. I printed the documents, bound them in a neat folder. That Sunday night, when she returned home with her lips raw from someone else's mouth and her hair tied in a knot that wasn't hers, I placed the folder on the kitchen table. "Open it," I said. She laughed nervously. "What's this? Work?" "Open it." The sound of paper tearing free was louder than thunder. Her eyes scanned the first page, stopped, widened. The color drained from her face as she flipped each sheet. Receipts, photos, timestamps. His name. Her hand trembled. She looked at me like I had just unzipped her skin and exposed her marrow. "I can explain," she stammered. I said nothing. Silence again. The same silence from that first night, except now it wasn't emptiness. It was judgment, and she couldn't stand in it. I didn't yell, I didn't cry. I simply stood, walked upstairs, and returned with a single envelope. I placed it on the table beside the folder. Her hands shook as she pulled out the papers. Divorce documents, my signature already inked, her name waiting. Her lips parted, but no sound came. "You'll find the settlement generous," I said, my voice flat, "but not forgiving." She blinked rapidly, as if tears could somehow blur the truth away. You're ending it? Just like that?" "Yes." "You don't want to talk about it? About us?" "There is no us." The words hit her harder than any scream could. She reached for me, but I stepped back. "You should know," I added, my tone surgical. "He's been removed from the firm, effective tomorrow. Breach of ethics. His career is over." Her mouth dropped. What did you—" "I did what I always do," I said. "I cleaned up a liability." She collapsed into the chair, clutching the papers as though they might burn her. And in that moment, she finally saw me clearly. Not as her husband, not as her fool, but as the man who had outplayed her, silently, completely, without raising his voice once. That night, she cried herself to sleep in the guest room. I listened from the hallway. Not with pity, not with rage, with finality. The house was quiet again. Not the hollow silence of betrayal, the silence of closure. I didn't need to punish her further. The papers, the ruined career of her lover, the sudden loss of everything she thought was stable, those were enough. I wasn't angry anymore. I was empty. And in that emptiness, I found clarity. Marriage is built on trust. And trust, once shattered, is irreparable. By morning, she was gone. The divorce papers still unsigned, but I knew she'd sign them soon enough. And I didn't care, because she was already erased. I poured myself a coffee, opened my laptop, and prepared for another day at the firm. There was work to do. There is always work to do. And as I stared at the screen, I whispered to myself the final truth. The truth that would follow me long after her name disappeared from my life. Love is temporary. Strategy is forever.